Let's talk about the male reproductive system. The vas deferens carries sperm from the testes to the ejaculatory duct. The urethra carries semen from the ejaculatory duct out of the body. Next is the penis. The tip of the penis is called the glands, and the skin covering the tip of the penis is the prepuce or foreskin. The seminal vesicle secretes fructose and prostaglandins, which is part of seminal fluid. Fructose provides energy for the sperm, and prostaglandins are hormones that help the sperm to move up the female reproductive system. The ejaculatory duct controls the movement of sperm from the vas deferens to the urethra. The prostate gland and the Calpers gland both produce mucus to help the movement of sperm and a base or alkaline buffer to protect the sperm against any acid in the urethra or the vagina. The epididymis is for sperm storage and maturation. The testis, which is singular of testes, makes sperm, testosterone, and when there's enough sperm produced, also makes the hormone inhibin. The scrotum regulates the temperature of the testes because sperm form best at a temperature lower than body temperature. Here's a front view of the male reproductive system. The seminal vesicles. Under that we have the prostate, the Calpers gland, vas deferens, which plural is the vasa differentia, the urethra, the epididymis, which plural is epididymides, and the testes. Let's look at a cross-section of the testes. First of all, the tube leading away is the vas deferens. Just on top of it is the epididymis, and all of the tubes inside are called seminiferous tubules. That is where sperm are made. So here we are looking at a cross-section of a seminiferous tubule, and then we have an extreme close-up of just part of that seminiferous tubule. We're looking down the center of it here, which is fluid-filled. That's where sperm would travel to reach the epididymis. Just inside the wall of the seminiferous tubule are cells called follicles. The ones lining the wall, the ones right next to the wall, are 2N because they have not undergone meiosis yet. Up from that are more follicles that have divided, and so they are 1N. These eventually turn into sperm. The remaining cell inside the seminiferous tubules is a Sertoli cell, and it has a number of functions, which we'll discuss in a moment. The cells surrounding the seminiferous tubules are interstitial cells. These produce testosterone and are stimulated by LH from the pituitary. So LH causes interstitial cells to produce testosterone. LH, interstitial, testosterone. That's right. It's lit. Okay, the Sertoli cells inside the seminiferous tubule secrete chemicals required for the nourishment and development of sperm cells. We say they are responsible for spermatogenesis because FSH stimulates the Sertoli cells, and then they stimulate the follicles to undergo meiosis. While the sperm are feeding on the Sertoli cells, they are protected from the man's immune system. The Sertoli cells produce inhibin hormone to slow sperm production. Sertoli cells are influenced by FSH and by testosterone to increase sperm production. So we see the Sertoli cells are inside the seminiferous tubules, and the interstitial cells are in between or outside the seminiferous tubules. Here's a cross-section of a seminiferous tubule and interstitial tissue. So outside the wall of the seminiferous tubule is the interstitial tissue. Just inside the wall, number 2, are the follicles. The kind of cell division between 2 and 3 is meiosis, 3 are the sperm, and 4 is that big cell we just talked about. That's the Sertoli cell. Here we have a microscope image of, can you guess what that is? That's right, it's a seminiferous tubule. And then that is a sperm. The cells near the edge of it are the follicles, and the cells outside of it are interstitial cells. Sperm is divided into 3 parts. The head, which contains an acrosome. The acrosome contains an enzyme to penetrate the layers surrounding the ovum. Here we have a picture of an ovum outlined in black, and then all of the cells surrounding it and protective tissue has to be broken down by the enzymes in the acrosome so the sperm head can reach the surface of the egg. Also in the head is the nucleus, which is haploid. It contains 23 chromosomes. The next part of the sperm is the midpiece, which contains mitochondria to produce energy, for the tail or flagellum for swimming. Sperm cell can live in the epididymis for many years, in semen at body temperature for 1 to 5 days, and stored at -100 degrees Celsius or cryopreserved for many years. 72 million or 40% of sperm entering the cervix are deformed. So here's the normal oval form of sperm, and then here's all the different ways that sperm could be deformed. We call these sperm non-viable because they're not going to fertilize the egg. So pathway of sperm, they're produced in the seminiferous tubules, which are inside the testes. They're stored in the epididymis and then travel through the vas deferens, the ejaculatory duct, and out through the urethra. How to remember this? It spells Steve U. The scrotum is skin and muscle covering the testes. It allows sperm to develop at optimal temperature, 35 degrees Celsius. The epididymis is where storage and maturation of sperm occurs. The immune system destroys the bad sperm here. The immune system would recognize it because the bad sperm would have different antigens on their surface than the good sperm. The ductus or vas deferens carries sperm from the epididymis to the ejaculatory duct. The ejaculatory duct regulates the movement of semen into the urethra. A sphincter regulates the movement of urine from the bladder, so it's closed when sperm are traveling through. The urethra carries semen from the reproductive system and urine from the excretory system. Seminal fluid is made by 3 structures represented by the letters S, P, and C. Let's label the diagram to find out where these 3 structures are. So number 1 is the bladder, 2 is the vas deferens, 3 is the urethra, 4 is the penis, 5 is the seminal vesicle, that's S, 6 is the prostate, that's the P, and 7 is the Calpers gland, that's C. So these 3 structures contribute to seminal fluid. Number 8 is the epididymis, and 9 is the testis. The seminal vesicles contribute 60% of the total fluid, and as we mentioned before, they contain fructose to provide the sperm with energy, and prostaglandins, which help sperm move up the uterus into the fallopian tubes by causing contractions in the female reproductive system. The prostate gland releases alkaline buffer and mucus. The alkaline buffer protects sperm against acidic environments in the urethra and the vagina, and the mucus increases the mobility of sperm, the ability of sperm to move. Prostate cancer is due to genetics, diet, and lifestyle. Symptoms include difficulty urinating, blood in urine, and erectile dysfunction. It is diagnosed with a rectal exam, blood test, and biopsy. So the rectal exam is when the doctor sticks a finger up the rectum to feel for any inflammation in the prostate. The blood test detects prostate-specific antigens, PSA. The diagnosis is only confirmed with a biopsy. So this is an ultrasound heading up through the rectum, and then that little needle goes into the prostate and removes some cells to check if they are cancerous. The Calpers gland secretes the same two substances as the prostate, an alkaline buffer and mucus. They have the same functions. They protect against acid in urine and increases mobility, but note that this one is released prior to ejaculation, and it may contain sperm, which is the reason for high failure rate of the withdrawal method of preventing pregnancy. This is not a valid method because even if this penis is removed from the vagina before ejaculation, there still could be some sperm in the pre-ejaculate, the fluid from the Calpers gland. Sperm plus seminal fluids makes semen. In one ejaculate, there's about 3 to 4 mils of fluid and about 40 to 100 million sperm cells per milliliter. At least a few dozen sperm must reach the egg to ensure fertilization. They work together using their acrosomes to digest the layers surrounding the ovum. The penis delivers semen to the female vagina. How does it do this? The arterioles, which are small arteries, dilate, which means they get bigger. It increases blood flow into the penis. It fills with blood to become erect, and at the same time, it compresses veins that carry blood away from the penis, so pressure builds, causing an erection. Dilation of the arteries or erection of the penis is under influence of the parasympathetic nervous system. Ejaculation is the release of semen through the urethra, and it is accomplished by the contraction of the vas deferens, the prostate, and the muscles at the base of the penis under influence of the sympathetic nervous system. A refractory period is a recovery time. It's a period of time that must pass prior to a second erection. So how does a penis become erect? The blood, enters the corpus cavernosa, which straightens when the pressure builds to cause the erection. How is a penis like a camera? Because for both, you just point and shoot. Point is parasympathetic, it controls erections, and shoot is sympathetic, which controls ejaculations. Impotency is the inability to produce or maintain an erection. It could be caused by hormone imbalance, problem with parasympathetic nerves or damage, drugs, alcohol, smoking, or stress.